Is this you? Yeah, this is probably you. You probably have gotten destroyed by Vertus many times, especially if it's your first time running this instance. This instance is very difficult, and I learned the hard way. This is my first playthrough of the game, so I didn't know all his abilities, and ooh, man, I felt like I was playing some Monster Hunter up in here. But if you don't know what this is essentially a Guardian Raid, and this is Vertus, which is the fourth Guardian Raid, I believe, and he's extremely difficult. He hits hard, even though you may have upgraded your gear. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to clear him. It's not going to be perfect, and it's mostly going to be from a perspective of a sorceress, well, range point of view. There are definitely some tips here that will definitely help you while you're trying to clear Vertus. I tried to clear Vertus so many times, and one of the big mistakes that I tried to do this was at night, right before, I guess, reset time. And, not everybody's awake and playing their best game of Lost Ark. So, if you're tired, just don't bother trying to do the hardest content right away. But essentially, Vertus Raid is a 20-minute raid. There's only 3 respawns on your team. And once you use those 3 respawns, well, nobody can respawn after that. And you basically have to defeat him with the remaining members that you have. So it's incredibly crucial that you try to survive as long as you can. However, for Vertus, that may be a little hard because he can do 2 shots, 3 shots, he can one-shot you in some instance, and it's very dangerous. I highly recommend that once you meet the requirements to do the Vertus raid, I probably wouldn't do it right away. I made the mistake of doing it right away, and I did 2 or 3 tries of Vertus, and it timed out essentially. We didn't have enough DPS at the time. However, right now, there may be enough people with higher gear scores doing the raid, so you may get lucky with that. But with random matchmaking, you never know who you might get. But for Vertus, I highly recommend that you try to push a little bit past the gear score before attempting this. And on top of it, one of the things that I find really helpful with Vertus is, I wish I had a Bard or Paladin in my group. With a Bard and Paladin, it makes the raid a lot easier, seeing how you can't heal in here. And on top of it, there's defensive spells that can help protect you. So I really would encourage you to try to use the Party Finder because it can make things a lot easier. I had a team full of DPS, which is not terrible if we all know what we were doing and dodging everything. However, the struggle is real. So you want to make life a little bit easier, maybe you get a Paladin or a Bard up in that mix, and then hopefully, you guys can try to hash it out with Vertus. From this video's perspective, I'm going to give you a Sorceress point of view and also a ranged class point of view. So for those of you guys that are playing tanks, maybe this might not be too helpful. Essentially, I'm trying to find out which skills gives me openings. So Vertus has many attacks, and one of the biggest things that I've noticed with Vertus that makes things a lot easier is you don't want to stand exactly behind him like the first couple bosses. The first couple bosses, if you just stand on their tail or right behind them, you won't get hit by most of their spells. This is not the case with Vertus. You really have to watch how he moves, watch how he reacts, and on top of it, you need to dodge. Most classes have one dodge or blink ability. Some classes have multiple traversal skills that you can use in order to dodge as well. But for a Sorceress, I have one dodge, which is my spacebar, and my X button, which I can also dodge as well. What you want to do is to try to not dodge at all unless you know you're gonna get hit. So with Vertus, I'm trying to do a couple attacks and then I'm going to move my character because I know that I can get about 2 or maybe 3 spells in before he's going to attack again, and you kind of have to pay attention to this. So this attack that you're seeing right here is very dangerous. The moment you see him dive, you just want to run in a straight line away from him. The moment you backtrack, you give him some distance in order to cover. I find that the easiest way to dodge it, just start running away from the direction of the circle until he pops up. The moment he pops up, that's how you know you're safe. If you start to run in a circle, you give him some distance in order to try to catch you. And if he catches you, it's going to do tons of damage, and you don't want that to happen. So that is one of the most dangerous skills that I have encountered. So as you see here, I didn't know that he was not going to pop up. However, I just checked my map momentarily to see where he popped up. One other thing that you can do as well while you're playing him is to just keep moving, attack a couple of times, and move. And hopefully once he uses an attack like this, which is the breath spell, it makes things a lot easier. When he uses that flaming breath, you have so much time in order to cycle through all your big DPS moves. And on top of it, you can pretty much get your whole rotation off. And it may be also a good chance to use your B button, which is your awakening ability that you have as well. So you can try to dish out as much damage as you can. Don't worry about using your V button too much. You can buy more of those stones from the vendor. It's really cheap. So I've been using my ultimate every chance I can get just to dish out additional damage and also to make things a lot faster. So as you see here, Vertus, he's just doing a series of swipes and also a series of tail whips. So you kind of want to stay a little bit out of range of his character. And if you really pay attention to his body movement, whenever he sways with his tail, that's not his normal movement like this, you know he's getting ready to do either a swipe with his tail or a 360 attack. So you can kind of watch how he sways to the left or to the right or all the way around. It's telegraphed. It may take you a couple more tries in order for you to identify this, but if you stay around the range where I'm at for the most part, you can get most of your spells in, and on top of it, you can quickly dodge just in case you need to dodge the swipe or the tail whip. Vertus has many abilities and he's going to cycle through them as you continue through the attacks. And here's another one where he dives into the water. Look, here he jumps out. I backtracked a little bit. There was nowhere else to run into the wall, so I had to make sure that my blink was ready, my spacebar move, so I could just jump and dash in order to try to dodge him. The moment he comes out of that water though, and if he manages to touch you, he's going to grab you and start doing a combo attack. So it's really crucial that you dodge that. So besides all these abilities, Vertus is pretty straightforward, and you know, as you continue to play him, you're going to start to understand him more. You may not clear him on your first time, not your second time or third time, or for me, I didn't clear him until the 6th time, and I finally was able to do it. So you know, just keep trying at it. It's going to be difficult. Not all the content here is easy. Another really dangerous attack that he has is this AoE ice shards that fall from the sky. If you look at the map, there's going to be red glowing ice particles falling. And once you get hit by that, you'll be frozen for a duration of time, and he may possibly combo you with additional follow-up attacks. So you really want to dodge that. It's kind of hard. I have a hard time seeing it because I'm trying to pay attention to his body, just in case he charges at me or dives into the ground. And I wasn't really paying attention to the ground, but as you continue to play, you're going to be able to see it. So it's going to take a couple tries. There's also some additional normal attacks that he has, such as when he turns blue, he's going to charge across the map in the direction he's facing, like some of the other bosses. But for the most part, that pretty much covers his main attacks. So make sure you essentially want to dodge everything. However, it's going to be tricky. So this really is going to depend on how you move, how you react, how you pay attention to the body language of Vertus, and it's going to be difficult. So once you are able to clear it, it's going to feel really great. So I know I don't cover exactly how to kill it, like an easy way. There wasn't a cheese strategy that I found, but for the most part, for a range class, this is how I was able to clear it. And it's also going to depend on the makeup of your group as well. If it's the first time for everybody, you know, you can expect a wipe. If it's something that you've been gearing up and you kind of tried with a couple of buddies that you already know, yeah, it's going to take some time, it's going to be challenging, and eventually you'll be able to clear it. But recap this, try to stay a little bit away from him. Between my character and where his body is positioned currently is kind of a safe range, and you'll be able to use your abilities. Remember to attack, move, move. You don't want to just stand there and just cycle through all your abilities, unless if it's like the Dragon Breath move. If it's the Dragon Breath move, you're more than welcome to use your long DPS cooldown spells like your ultimate or your other abilities. You can get many abilities off in that instance. If he's diving into the water, make sure you run away from it as far as you can until you know that he's popped up. If you backtrack and he's on your tail, he most likely will hit you and it's going to do a lot of damage. If he pops up from the ice and he hits you, it could essentially be a grab move and he will combo you. It'll hurt you for about half of your HP and it hurts a lot. So make sure you dodge that as well. And on top of it, you need to pay attention to the map just in case he uses the Ice Blast, which is AoE circles around him at random positions. If you get hit by that, they'll freeze you. So pretty much those are his main abilities, and on top of it there's just normal abilities where he does a frontal swipe with his claws, which is similar to the tail slash, but you won't get stunned, I believe. And also occasionally he shoots a big energy orb. It's a blue orb, it does damage, it's pretty easy to dodge, and it moves pretty slow, so you shouldn't be getting hit by that too often. Rinse and repeat these steps and eventually you'll be able to clear this instance, get that sweet achievement added to your adventurer's tome, and unlock all the hidden treasures for this Guardian Raid. But that's pretty much it for me. If you want to see more videos of Lost Ark in the future, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll continue to make some videos of stuff that I find incredibly difficult or super annoying that, may help you out on your quest in Lost Ark. But good luck to all you adventurers out there, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.